Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm BooksMcD, or Lauren, because my name obviously isn't BooksMcD. Off to a great start. Also, I just realized I'm going to have to edit this, and I don't know when I'm going to upload it, so it might not even be morning. That's fine. I made my husband watch my last video, which was the unboxing, which was, I think, my first video in 2 years. I make my husband watch all my videos and come to my choir shows, and he has a choice. It's fine. So he gave some constructive criticism, and he was like, "Do you want to be here?" Yeah, I want to be here. That's why I'm making the freaking videos. But it's been, like I mentioned in my last video, it's been hard. I haven't been reading as much. I obviously wasn't doing this. So it's like I almost have to make myself, because I want to participate in this social media book haven and meet new people and talk about book reviews and talk about books we're buying and things. It's exciting to me. I like being on the book corners of the social media worlds. What's happening here? Anyway, but I do almost have to make myself, it's like you want to, but you can't do it for some reason. So when I recorded those videos, it was almost like I had to, or it was never going to happen. And so I realized that in my recording of them, I seemed a little, like, off. And also, like, the first one, I didn't shower, I didn't try. I was like, this is happening come hell or high water. And so it was, it is. This time I did, I did something with my hair. I brushed it. I curled some pieces, but like, what's happening with that? Well, it's whatever. Maybe one time I'll try. No, I'm not gonna do makeup. That's fine. But I do have my coffee in my new pointy cup. It's pointy. It's got this very nice like under green thing happening, but it looks black if it's not in the light. But love coffee. Okay. So I know, oh my God, people who love coffee and they make it their whole personality. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, so the books I'm excited to talk about, finally doing a review. It has been a long time. Finally doing a review. I'm reviewing 2 Book of the Month books, and it's funny. Not funny, haha, but just like, it's H-E-H funny. That's like a private chuckle. It's funny to me because when I'm at work and I'm working with numbers, or I'm working on a spreadsheet or something, attention to detail is something I talk about all the time. I talk about attention to detail frequently. I tell people attention to detail is important. It's not the only important thing, but I mention attention to detail all the time. And I don't know if it's because we need it at our job or whatever, but I guess maybe also I really like that Chris Hadfield book, which I did a review on a long time ago. If you want to go check it out, An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Chris Hadfield. And he's a Canadian astronaut, awesome guy. I mean, I don't know if he's awesome. I think I even said that in the video. I want him to be awesome because I really like his book. Astronauts have to have excruciating attention to detail, and I don't have to in my personal life, obviously, but it's funny to me because at work I'm very detail oriented, and then at home, blank slate. I don't always have to pay attention to things. I don't try to figure things out. I don't try to figure out movies, TV shows. When I don't need to pay attention to stuff, I'm not paying attention to stuff. So it's no surprise to me that I didn't even realize these books are by the same author. Hi, Alice Feeney. What a coincidence that this is the book that made me join Book of the Month, and this is the first book I chose. I mean, to be fair, didn't even notice it was by you. I just saw that it had Agatha Christie vibes, and I was sold. So I didn't even realize both books were by Alice Feeney until someone at my library crochet group, I know it's not just crochet, it's knit and crochet, but in case somebody from the group sees this and corrects me, I don't know. But somebody at my library crochet group, yarn group, mentioned that to me. She's the woman who gave me this book, and we were like, oh my God, August pick, what's your August pick? And I said, oh, Daisy Darker, because Agatha Christie vibes. And she was like, oh, that's by the same author. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's by the same author? Those two books are by the same author. Oh, no idea. Literally right over the head. I just never think to look at authors. I look at them when I do a review to tell people who the book is by, but in my personal life, I don't go, oh, I liked this book by this author, so I will go see what else they wrote and go read everything they've ever written. I never think to do that. It's just not something that I pay attention to. I barely notice the author. So it's no surprise to me that I just didn't realize these were by the same person. I will say in this spoiler-free first part of the video, these are Twisty books. I also am not a person in my personal life. There's no twists at work, so I wouldn't notice them at work. But in my personal life, like movies, TV, things like that, I don't notice twists. I never guess what's going to happen. I don't want to. I want to be along for the ride. I want to be wowed. I want to be surprised. I don't want to figure it out. I know that sometimes it feels good to figure it out if you do, but I don't want to. I want to be along for the ride and see if they get me, So I never guess what's happening in a TV show or a movie. The one time I guessed, I will say the one time I guessed, my husband introduced me to this movie. I had never seen it before, and I feel like he told me that a lot of people don't guess it, but maybe he was just boosting my ego because he loves me so much. But was that movie The Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey, which Kevin Spacey. But I immediately, probably in the beginning of the movie, I was like, it's him. Spoilers for that movie, I guess? I feel, even in my last video, I was like, spoilers for Little Princess from 1993 or 5 or whatever. So, yeah, The Usual Suspects, it's Kevin Spacey. But I never, in that movie, at least my husband said, people don't guess it, but I guessed it right. And I never guess things. So at the end, when you find out it is him, I brought the house down. I was screaming. I was running around the house. And he was like, this is an overreaction. And I was like, not if you never guess things. So I will say, to my credit, I'm 2 for 2 million. But that's fine. Because I did guess the twist in Daisy Darker. About 85 pages in, maybe 80, I had a feeling, and I did guess the twist in Daisy Darker. Now, maybe it was because I had just read another Alice Feeney, and I was ready for twisty stuff. I like it, I still love it, but I guessed it. Which, if you don't want to be able to guess it, I don't know if I think it's an easy one or not. I wouldn't say it is, but it might be really obvious to other people because I'm a person who never guesses things, right? So I can guess it. I don't know. But if the reason is because I had just read another Alice Feeney, and so I was feeling her vibe, that might have been why I was able to guess the twist. I was just ready for it. This book, no. Absolutely. I don't even understand how anybody could guess the twists in this book, because it just does really, really well with red herrings, which is something Agatha Christie does do. One of my favorite things about Agatha Christie, this one doesn't claim to be Agatha Christie I don't think, in the front flap. Let's review. I can't read that fast, but I didn't see Agatha Christie, so I'm assuming this one doesn't claim to be Agatha Christie This one does. Right in the front flap. Right there. With a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's, and then there were none. Boom. So, little hair fluff, little coffee break. Okay, spoiler-free time. This book is about a couple that's not doing well. They're trying to save their marriage, so they go on a little trip. The husband has face blindness. I didn't love that at first because I was like, well, that's obviously going to play into whatever the twisty is. But there's no way I could have predicted. One, there's more than one twist. So just be ready for that. The second you think you know what's going on, no, you don't. And that's why I liked this book. I don't know how satisfied I was with the ending, to be honest. I really loved the big twist. There's a big twist and then a more minor twist that actually probably should be the big twist, but Alice Feeney did really well with red herrings. I feel like that's something that Agatha Christie does really well. If somebody knew the twists for rock, paper, scissors, I would love to talk to them. Because I was shocked. I couldn't believe I had gotten almost finished with the book before I realized what was happening. So I will say, this one took me by surprise twice. So I love that part. I will say this one is also a little creepier than Daisy Darker. They're going on a trip. They're in a creepy cabin in the woods, and they're like snowed in. There's a cellar, a wine cellar that seems super creepy. This is very creepy in my opinion, but I like it. And it's good for October. Like, now I realize it's winter vibes, which isn't like super fall vibes. I almost wish this was fall because then it would be perfect for October. But this is nice and creepy and twisty if you want to read something like that in this month. Daisy Darker is, in my opinion, a little less creepy. So this is both isolated house on a shoreline that gets cut off from the mainland when the tide comes in. So perfect spot for like an Agatha Christie-esque situation. This one is another mystery that has a twist, but I would say this twist was more predictable, but I still liked it. So this twist I almost enjoyed more, though. So even though I got this twist, I enjoyed this one slightly more than this twist, even though this one caught me by surprise even more. I think everybody enjoys being had, right? It's like when a magician is doing a magic trick and they're doing a card trick, and then suddenly they're done with the card trick and they guess your card and you're like, wow, that was so crazy. But then at the end, they really stole your watch. So like, that's what I think rock, paper, scissors is like. You think you're going down a certain path. I don't know. You're not going down the path you think you're going down. Daisy Darker, you are going down the path you think you're going down, but it's super enjoyable. I really like how Alice Feeney did it. I love both these books. I think I gave them both 4 out of 5 on Goodreads because I think I have struggled really with reading, and they were excellent one-off books that you could finish in a matter of days. I finished this one in, I think, a couple days. So you can really just get rolling with them, and they are super fun, super creepy for October. Even though one's at a beach and one's in winter, they're still good for October. It would be really nice if she wrote like a fall vibes one. And I might actually finally start reading an author's entire works. So I realize she doesn't have that many books. Another one that I think is very popular by her is called His and Hers, or Hers and His, or something like that. I think I'm going to read that one too, just because now I'm so curious. I want to see if they're all this good. Kudos to Alice Feeney. These are both twisty, excellent reads that you can finish in a matter of days. One I would say is a little more predictable, and one is not. Now I want to get into heavy spoilers. Heavy, heavy spoilers. Okay, like heavy. Coffee break. Okay, so in this one, this one's crazy. So what I like that Alice Feeney did about this, the whole thing is telling the present day story. You don't realize there's a time difference, though. That's the friggin' thing. You don't realize. So it just presents the couple. And the first, half is the couple and these letters that the wife writes the husband. Or so you think. So the couple is going to this cabin in the woods with their dog. Look, this is spoilers. Nothing happens to the dog. The dog's fine. I hate that stuff, and I know that people want to know the dog is fine. Even if you know the dog is fine, I don't think it'll make it a worse read for you. It's upsetting to me to read about anything happen to dogs. Yeah, I know that's super messed up, especially if it's like, oh, you can read about people getting murdered, but you can't read about dogs getting murdered. No, I can't. So anyway, the dog is fine. I don't know why I have to keep holding it up. You get it. It's rock, paper, scissors. Anywho, so there's these letters from the wife to the husband every year on their anniversary. And you think, that is so sweet. But what it's just going to show, what it adds to the story, is how their marriage is slowly falling apart over time. So you just think it's going to be just this emotional roller coaster. It's going to show like how they're not doing well. And the letters are going to show how they started and it was so good. So you think that's all the letters are for. Little do you know, those letters aren't from that wife. Let me backtrack. So they get to the cabin. The wife says, "Oh, I won it in a contest at work." And, she works at a shelter. He's an aspiring screenwriter, or an aspiring writer turned screenwriter, because he can't get any of his own stuff written. And so she says, "Oh, I won this trip at work." The whole time I'm thinking like she's going to murder him or something shady like that. Like I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Even though I say I'm along for the ride, your brain can't help but try to predict stuff. But I'm just assuming like one of them is going to kill the other one and try to get away with it because their marriage is like doing really, really bad, right? That's not it at all. There's a third person who is obviously the innkeeper, this church turned inn thing, which that makes it even creepier, right? And so all these like things are happening. She thinks she sees somebody out the window, somebody gets locked in the wine cellar, just creepy things. And then you realize there is a third person who's like messing with them. And Alice Feeney plays it off like it's a person obsessed with the husband, because when the husband was younger, he saw his mom get run over by a car and he has face blindness and he could never place who did it. And you think, oh, this is the woman who did it. This psycho who's like running the inn is the woman who did it. She's obsessed with him and it's going to be like a whole thing, right? Wrong. Totally wrong. So it turns out, double twist. Like I said, double twist, double twist. It turns out that the innkeeper, the woman who is freaking them out and freaking out the wife, is the first wife. She's the first wife. All the letters throughout the book are from her. Alice Feeney makes you think that it's the current wife, the wife he's on the trip with. But that's not the case. It's the former wife's letters that we're seeing go through. You don't realize time jumps are happening, current day and the letters. They're time jumps, but you think they're time jumps with the current wife. You don't realize that there was a first wife. So this is the first wife, okay? Now, how does this second woman come to play? She was in the car when the mom got hit. So it is that kind of dynamic where the person who's responsible for running over the mother is obsessed with the guy and comes and shows up. And then she starts dressing like his then current wife. And, because he has the face blindness, I don't know, eventually sleeps with her. But like, you think you would tell from personality things and other stuff like that. Whatever. But then they end up together. I don't even know if I'm telling this well because there's so many circles and stuff that you're just surprised by the end. That's why it's really good for red herrings, because when there's so many different directions you're looking, you can't see what's happening right in front of you. So it was just really well done. So the letters really are from the first wife and they are describing their marriage over time. And it's not until the very end that you realize why it falls apart is this other woman who is now in the present day at the cabin with the husband. You think it's like kind of the other way around, like one and only wife and then just some like random woman who's obsessed with him. The thing you find out, so the big twist is the letters. The letters are not from who you think they're from, right? But the bigger twist, I don't know which one is bigger. The one you should probably care about more is the second twist, but I thought the letters was so well done. I really liked that one. The second twist is that the husband ran over his own mother. Not on purpose. She was out drinking and he was with that other woman when they were kids and just gallivanting around. He hit her with the car. That is the other twist, the other major twist that you don't expect because you already got one twist. And then it's like, it's like an afterthought. It comes so quickly that it's like, oh, and also like I killed my mom. And you're like, okay, well, I guess we're just doing this now. The interesting thing about the book is the original couple ends up back together and they like kill and bury the second wife together. And you're like, I don't know if I'm satisfied because I don't know why you would want to stay with the dude. Like that's my whole thing. I'm kind of like, the twists are very satisfying, but the ending is almost not satisfying because you want her to just let him go because like girl power, she doesn't need him, like who gives a crap? But that's not this kind of book. That's not what kind of book this is. So it's a satisfying twisty book, but if you want like a happy, happy ending, that's not this. This is a maybe these two people belong to each other ending, but it's definitely a perfectly eerie ending to this book. The fact that it ends the way it does. This twist I loved. I did guess it about 80 to 85 pages in, and to me, it was really satisfying. Maybe it was my attention to detail that helped me get it. But what I realized in this one, okay, let's start at the beginning. I can't wait to tell you the twist, but let's start at the beginning. So, the very Knives Out, the family goes to the house for Grandma's birthday, Halloween. It is set in Halloween, even though it's on a beach, so whatever. Grandma is a writer. She wrote a series of books using Daisy Darker's name. It's the Darker family. Daisy wasn't supposed to live past a certain age because of a heart condition, so her grandmother, I think, used her name in her books just as a nice gesture. She has a couple sisters. Her parents are there for the birthday, and a cute neighborhood boy that the grandma helped out a lot when he was a child because his father was abusive and an alcoholic and stuff. And he's there also because now he's like kind of part of the family. So grandma gets murdered in the night, and then the mystery goes from there. And it's, trying to solve what happened to grandma. As we continue through the book, everybody gets picked off one by one. There's these home movies that get placed in different parts of the house, and then they watch them, and then like a terrible story about their childhood is revealed, and they're typically about Daisy Darker in some way. If you're not paying attention, and this is what I love about it, if you're not paying attention, it's very easy to miss the twist. But there was something weird about the interactions between Daisy and the rest of the family. She did come off as very mousy, and that's why it would be easy to miss, because people just seem to ignore her. Anytime she has input in a conversation, anytime anything is going on, it's very easy to ignore Daisy. And she talks about that. And sometimes it seems like people are addressing her directly. But then I was like, we got a sixth sense. We got a sixth sense on our hands. Daisy's dead. Daisy is dead. And the reason I know is because every time, what I would do while I was reading, once I had that thought, what I would do while I was reading is I would go back and look at her interactions. And I would say, when Daisy has a comment in between, during a conversation, can I get from the first person to the second person without Daisy at all? Yes, I can. So every freaking time she had a comment, I was like, A to B to C. I was like doing the, can I get through Daisy without Daisy at all? Can I get to this point without her at all? Yes, you can. Daisy's dead. It's a Sixth Sense situation. I love the twist. I love it. It was very well done. It's just, maybe it was a little over the top. I don't know. I thought it was great. I'm not somebody who can typically guess twists, though. So some people might think this one is a little bit more obvious. I didn't, I just felt like proud that I got it, but I still like it because I like this idea of like a ghost with unfinished business. I will say an additional small twist could be that, one of the sisters has a young daughter. She had her young, and it's the teenage daughter that's helping the ghost of Daisy. Like, she can see her and she's helping her. That is maybe a little extra element. It doesn't feel super twisty. I guess it's twisty because at one point the teenage daughter like gets attacked, but I think it's made to look that way by her. So maybe you could say this one is also double twisty, but like the big twist is that this is Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. Spoilers for The Sixth Sense, I guess. Come on, guys. If I'm making these 90s references, 2000s, whatever. If I'm making these old movie references and you're pissed about it, then I don't know, like be pissed about it because just go see the movies. I don't know. Coffee break. So I thought that was the most fun twist. I like ghost stories. This one isn't like super eerie. I do love the way though. Ooh, I love in both these books, actually. I was going to say, I love the way that, you can't get away from the house when the tide is up. So like, ooh, and I love the way that like they can't get out because of the blizzard. Very fun. I love trapped house situations. I love Gothic stories. I love books like Rebecca. I liked Mexican Gothic. I mean, I'll have to do a review on that one for other reasons. But, I love that trapped in a house thing. Big house, scary, ghosts. Love it. I'm not into like gory horror. Neither of these have gory horror in my opinion. They are not gross. There's no bloody scenes. That's stuff I really can't get into. It's not for me. Ghosts, eerie, almost less is happening, but your imagination is doing more work is kind of the scary that I like. So I would recommend both of these. No, I didn't do a really good job of doing a non-spoiler review. I probably could have mentioned like what each of their professions were and what the main plot points are. It's really hard to do when all you want to do is jump into the spoilers. So I may try to do more non-spoiler reviews in the future, but it's difficult for me when there's a lot of twists and turns. Like you can only share so many of the main plot points without getting into spoilers. So I love that my non-spoiler reviews were like, they're good, they have twists, read them. And then my spoiler reviews were like, he did it, she did it, they killed this person, she's a ghost. Just giving all of the endings away. But I enjoyed both of these very much. I think I will continue to read Alice Feeney books. I want to see what his and hers is like, and I will just go from there. I'll look forward to reading more Alice Feeney. Like I said, both of these, I think I gave 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I am a fan. I love the twists and turns. Perfect one-off reads in a couple of days. Great for a nice quick read in October. So I hope you enjoy these. Thanks for tuning in. I'm on social media, not super active, but I do my best. So if you want to follow me, it's at BooksMcD at all of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, let's see, TikTok. I don't know, all the things. And then I have a blog, Coffee, Read, Sleep, Repeat, because that's what we like to do. Coffee break. Love reading, love sleeping, probably need more sleep. Please subscribe, please like, do whatever you want. But I hope you enjoy both of these books. Let me know if you do. Let me know if you have any other, now that I'm getting into this whole paying attention to who the author is thing, let me know if you like Alice Feeney, if you like the other books she's written. I think there's only 2 or 3 more, so I'll have to check them out. And let me know other authors that are like Alice Feeney, besides Agatha Christie, obviously, because like all of these are Agatha Christie books. Like I have almost a complete set. So if there are other authors that are like Alice Feeney and Agatha Christie, please let me know. I want like a recommended list, like on Netflix when it's like, oh, shows picked for you or recommended. I need that because I really enjoyed these. So any recommendations from you all would be fantastic. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching this video, and talk to you later.